happy day in the world. Every day I wake up and I get fired up again and everything that's going on, right and left and right and wrong, it's all kind of crazy stuff. But let's start off with something a little humorous to kind of break the ice, don't you know? And recently I interviewed a man on the streets of Las Vegas. He said, after an attempted mugging, I started to carry a gun. Now my muggings are more successful. Hey, just saying. Now let's get on to some real serious stuff. Hey, you got DeSantis. He came to Chicago recently, not lately, you know, and he showed up and was talking to some reporters, and a couple of reporters, they were talking amongst themselves, and then they said collectively, "You're homophobic." Where did that come from? They call them names and homophobic. You know what? I don't know. I'm homophobic. Do you know what homophobic means? It means you're not comfortable with homosexual people. Doesn't mean you hate anybody. Doesn't mean you don't like anybody. It means you're not comfortable. I'm liberal phobic too. I mean, maybe that's what DeSantis is. He's liberal phobic. Hey, I was golfing just the other day, and it reminded me a little bit about what was happening because I went to a sand trap. I was in the sand trap, and there was no rake, and couldn't find a rake, and reminded me about the pandemic when they took all the rakes away, and it made me wonder, why? Why did the rakes get taken away from the sand when people had COVID, or thought they had COVID, or something? What is that all about? You know what? The corporate world, the media, the governments, they've all forgotten about COVID. It's like it never happened. But it did happen. I mean, I so often think of my friend who had a flower shop. He went bankrupt, and yet you could buy flowers, because he wasn't allowed to be open, but you could buy flowers at Walmart. So it was a weird time. I mean, I think historians are going to be looking back on this thing forever. I mean, now it's all about the war in the Ukraine and guns and cross-dressers and all this kind of stuff where you have new things now. It's almost, again, like in so many ways it didn't happen. Not nice. Then you have Trudeau, the prime mistake in Canada. Recently, it was discovered that China meddled in the election, in the last election, and Trudeau saying, that doesn't matter. Canadians decided, they decided the outcome in spite of the Chinese meddling. Really? This guy, I mean, he thinks he's Teflon. Maybe he has been because nothing sticks to him, but he's been found guilty of ethic breaches, and now this, and did he win the last election because it was a minority government? Because of Chinese interference? Yes. He should step down. He shouldn't be allowed to be the prime minister of a country. But then he has the audacity to say, you know what, in spite of that meddling, the Canadian people got what they wanted. 70% of the Canadian people, even with the meddling, didn't vote Liberal. And this guy is destroying the country. And he's doing a good job of it. It's not nice. And then you have the UN. It's a global thing, globalization. Trudeau's one of those guys that he wants other people in other places, other countries, to think for Canadians. It's not right. I mean, there's UNIDRIP. I mean, it's just a bad thing. Okay, it's another international organization, and now they're sending people over to Canada to resolve decisions locally and resolve issues with Indians and things like that. What a weak country when you can't even make your own decisions. You have to bring people in from other places, and these people are biased, they're left-wing wackos, and they have no right to be in Canada or anywhere else. It's upsetting. I see this every day, and it's upsetting because what's being done about it? Nothing. I mean, the opposition people, they don't stand up and talk. They're scared to talk because they might get kicked out of the brownies if they don't, if the leader doesn't agree with them. What is the solution? Well, the solution clearly is to get rid of all these politicians and start over again. But before that happens, it'd be kind of nice if people, voters, went and kind of from the bottom up, right? It's like if you have a big pail of marbles and you go underneath and start pushing upwards, pretty soon they spill over the top. You need to go to your local member of parliament and push. And get him to talk up and so on. Don't succumb to the dumb. That's code for don't let the Liberals win. Hey. See ya.